asking to be heard.
Right there. Logan? Logan, that's Logan.
Yeah, he does a lot.
Catherine Vaccaro, a member of the worship team here at 1U. With me today in the service are our minister, Reverend Margalie, Belizaire, Director of Lifespan Enrichment, Judith Stein-Farrall, our chalice lighters, Maya and Jade, the chalice choir, our accompanist, Dani, Monzon, Vilegas, and we also have our board president, Greg Buckingham, our membership committee member, Kathy Homblett, and Steph Garber. Let's not forget the wonderful people in the background who are working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. Thank you all. Children will be sung out to their classes after the welcoming of new members. We greet you this morning, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. We, as always, have a few special announcements today. First, I would like to welcome Rose Byler from the music team to the pulpit for a brief announcement regarding next week's Milk District concert.
Good morning, everyone. And Catherine and I did not coordinate our outfits this morning. Surprise, surprise. So I am here to talk about our upcoming concert with the Magic of Bronze Handbell Ensemble, which will happen on December 7th. This is the third concert in our Milk District Salon series, and I'm really excited about this concert. It's going to be a wonderful way to kick off the holiday season here at 1U. So we're doing something a little bit different. We will also, in addition to the Handbell Ensemble, which you all have heard play here in our sanctuary, and they're just a wonderful ensemble, we will also have the Alliance's Holiday Boutique that will be open so you can shop before the concert. So from 6 to 7, you can come shop at the Holiday Boutique. The doors to the sanctuary will open at 6:30. The concert will go from about 7 to 8:15-ish. And then immediately following the concert, we will go back over to Gore Hall, where we'll have a holiday sing-along, and you can continue shopping. And our very own fellowship team is offering desserts. So, and at the very end of the evening, Dani and Aubrey have some special surprises for us to end the evening on a high note. So I hope you all will come join us. There is an announcement in the weekly update where you can follow the QR code or go to the link to buy tickets. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Today at noon is our congregational meeting. Please enjoy a light lunch in Gore Hall before the meeting. And note that voting is available for those who are present either in person or online. We are also celebrating our new members today, and there will be cake. The Conversation Corner will not be gathering today due to the congregational meeting. For a list of our upcoming holiday services, please see our website. You can also pick up a copy of that list in the foyer. Next Sunday, December 8th, join Reverend Margalie in the gathering space at 12 noon for Let's Talk UU. Bring your favorite poem. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. If you would like to follow along with the service, please use the QR code shown on the monitor and in the first few slides. Thanks again for being here in person and online today, and happy holidays. And now we'll do our chalice sliding. So we have Maya and Jade. Maya is ecstatic about reading. She loves being with her sister and her dog, Indigo. Jade loves decorating for Christmas and playing with her toys and her dog. Maya. All yours.
Please join me in saying these words as we light the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening song, We Need a Little Christmas. The words will be projected on the screen.
It's about time. Good morning, everyone, and it is good to be with you this morning. It's December, and this month we're exploring the practice of presence, which I think is right on time because during this time of year, we're being pulled in so many different places, so reminding us to be present, I think, is important. And today we will enter the holiday season. As we enter the holiday season, we invite you to explore the power of now. Also today, we welcome 8 new members in our 1U community. Woohoo! They have been a part of us, some for a short while, others for a longer while. Whatever the case may be, for each of them, they have recently signed the membership book and are officially 1U members. And we will very shortly engage in a ritual to welcome them. All right, and I just, as I mentioned earlier, this time of year, reminding us to be in the present, I want to share this as our opening words to this service. They're the words of Elena Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts, and seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment. To remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. And as you are fully present, let us welcome and say, greet one another. So take a moment and greet one another. Good morning. Good morning. it's done, right? I better grab my, whatchamacallit.
Did you want me up here? Do you want to call me up here?
There's nowhere in here where I call you up.
Called me up?
It is our privilege to take time this morning to welcome our newest members formally, our newest members of the First Unitarian Church of Orlando. And I want to call up Kathy Hamblett, who is with the membership committee, to also join us up here. Well, Sydney too.
Sydney, too. While one U... It's all right. While one U has both members and friends meaningfully involved in the life of our community, it is a special joy when someone chooses to make the commitment of formal membership because they believe that they have found their spiritual home.
When someone's interested in membership at 1U, we suggest they be around long enough to be sure that this is really a commitment they wish to make. We also ask they make sure they understand, the basics of both the First Unitarian Church of Orlando and Unitarian Universalism.
Formally, the process of joining involves being at least 18 years old. I think you all look at least 18. Signing the membership book and making a financial pledge. The membership is then registered at the next meeting of the Board of Trustees. And 30 days following, the person has the right to vote at meetings of the congregation and to hold certain elected office.
This morning, we are honored to welcome into our congregation. My mic.
And that Brittany would never let that.
Never. Brittany doesn't ever do this. This morning, we're honored to welcome into our congregation 8 people. Did you say they're all here? All of who are here this morning?
No.
One of
which is not able to be present
Right.
this morning. These individuals have been participating in our spaces, found our religious community meaningful, nurturing, and challenging, and have decided to become members with full privileges and responsibilities. We are very blessed to have them join us.
These folks have lived in different parts of the country. They bring diverse interests and experiences. Some have been involved with Unitarian Universalism here and elsewhere. Others are new, yet kindred spirits. They've explored spirituality and exercised their conscience. They are passionate and caring and creative, and they are deeply committed to this adventure of life.
Will Greg Buckingham, representing the Board of Trustees, as you know, our board president, will you join us up here?
Kathy will now read the names of those who have chosen to be welcomed as members this morning. Will you please come forward as your name is called?
Brandon Allen. Wesley Boyce.
Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome. Congratulations.
Audrey Howard. And she's welcome. Congratulations. Nicole Dawson.
Welcome, welcome.
Help me. Carrie Lochran.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome, sorry, probably keep this okay. And Shayna Thomas, watching online. We'll welcome her back another time. Mike Wright. And Rebecca Wright. Welcome, Michelle.
Welcome. I'm looking over at all of you on the other side here, new members. Do you, the newest members of the First Unitarian Church of Orlando, accept the challenge of membership, that is to speak the truth in freedom, to search diligently for your own spiritual growing edges, and to love and minister to each other? If yes, say I do.
I do. Will the Board of Trustees, the committee chairs, and other leaders of this congregation please rise in body or in spirit and remain standing? Do you, the leadership of this congregation, accept the challenges new members offer you to create and sustain a structure that respects the worth of every person, that honors the democratic process with access to information and decision-making, that recognizes and celebrates individual differences, and seeks unity in diversity? If so, please say, we do.
We do.
Would the rest of the congregation please rise in body or spirit? Oh, board and leaders, please remain standing. Do you, members of this beloved community, accept these newest members into your fellowship? Do you promise to make them welcome, to share with them your insights, your concerns, your hospitality, your resources, and your needs? If so, say we do.
We do.
Will you further celebrate the special talents and resources of these new members, recognizing that change and growth are signs of health, being open to the enrichment of their presence? If so, again, please say we will.
We will. In recognition of our covenant, let us say together our historic bond of union, which is displayed on the screen. We associate ourselves together
for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the noblest lives of humanity, hoping thereby to prove helpful to one another and to promote truth, righteousness, and love in the world. Blessings to all of you. May you flourish spiritually and find your place here in this community. And blessings to all of us, because we are enriched by having these new 8 members among us. And now I invite us all to welcome them with applause and cheers. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
After our new members take their seats, I invite our adults on the aisle over here to form a loving bridge and arch to sing our children out to our classrooms this morning.
sorry, I was just humming along. So, 5 years ago, I stood here and told you about my turning Medicare age, more commonly referred to as 65, but I was excited and I was hopeful. This month, I will turn 70, but this year, it is in the shadow of an absolutely devastating election. This year, I enter with many feelings, but hopeful is not one of them. Instead, I'm deeply troubled, I'm fearful, and I am greatly saddened. I'm also really weary. There's always been the deal in my mind that with age comes saggier boobs, but also increased wisdom. But my wisdom reserves are insufficient to this moment in history. But thankfully, there are sages who live among us. As we, on the side of love, work to find a way to combat the path this country is clearly headed towards fascism, we must sustain ourselves and we must help one another by receiving and passing along those seeds of wisdom from these sages. The biggest realization I have made in these last 5 years as I'm aging is the role of one you in my life. I need you, my one you family. You are my friends. We share good and common values. You are my people, and you are my tribe. I know that I am loved in our One You community, and I know how much love I have to share with you. So no matter whom I may sit near here in service or talk to over coffee afterwards, I'm aware that, like me, you also hold the wish onto our Constitution and democracy surviving. This last election hit me hard, as I know it did for many of you. But being with my One You community made me realize that this is what I need to find a way back to the light at the end of the tunnel. I see no light right now, and rarely do I see the tunnel. Rebecca Silnut, the author of Hope in the Dark and many other words of feminine insight, said, "You may need to grieve or scream or take time off, but you have a role no matter what. And right now, it's for good friends and knowing good principles are worth gathering in. Remember what you love. Remember what loves you. Remember in this tide of hate what love is." She later goes on to write, "There is no alternative to persevering, and that does not require you to feel good. You can keep walking, whether it's sunny or raining. Take care of yourself, and remember that taking care of something else is an important part of our taking care of ourselves, because we are interwoven with the 10 million things in this single garment of destiny that has been stained and torn, but is still being woven and washed. I am grateful to be a single thread interwoven with each of you. All of us that make up this incredible, warm-hearted, comforting community are what I need. I need to be among those who share my values and my disappointments, and my unease provides me a safe, soothing place to recover. I hope it does for you. While we travel at different paces, we will find our way to the light. Those who arrive ahead of us will brighten the path that leaves the rest of us to come forward.
It's good to see everybody this morning. I am Greg Buckingham, President of the Board of Trustees. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of our church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of December is the New Image Youth Center. We are happy to have here today Dr. Shante Barton-Stubbs, the founder and executive director of the New Image Youth Center, and she's going to share some information about what they do.
Good morning, everyone. I am Shante Barton-Stubbs, the Executive Director and the founder of the New Image Youth Center, AKA The Good in the Hood. Yes. And this year we celebrated 20 years of service in the Paramore community. Thank you. We're beyond grateful because at 21 years old, when I saw the need, I didn't know that it was going to turn into what it is now. But here we are 20 years later, serving hundreds and hundreds of students, 59 high school graduates, 12 college graduates, and so many more on the way. We could have never done this work without the help of so many of you who believed in the mission for the last 8 years. And this year, we started our Taking Our Good to Otherhood activity bus, where now we're not only serving Paramore, but also Mercy Drive, Pine Hills, Oak Ridge, and Holden Heights. In 1 year, thank you. In 1 year, we have been able to serve over 300 youth. That means that over 300 kids were able to receive a safe space, a safe adult, food as they needed, clothing when they needed, socks on their feet, and whatever it is they needed as far as support. We're beyond grateful because we know that this mission wouldn't continue if it wasn't for the amazing people at 1U, our friends of New Image, and so many other people who make it happen. Now, I do know that we're in the world of trouble with this world if we don't get it right. But now is our time. Now is our time to leave out of these doors and to go serve the world in the way that we know we can do. We've been doing it for 20 years, so why not another 20? Whatever part that you can do, let's do it together. Whether it's offering a hug, a smile, a pair of socks, or even a snack, we are changing this world together. We're going to be the change that the world needs to see. It didn't just start yesterday. It started 20 years ago. So let's continue to do the work and show this world that we will make a difference. Thank you. One is Dashana and one is Sanaya. Dashana is our young lady that you have been keeping up in prayer and supporting. She was the one that was diagnosed with heart failure 3 years ago. And because of the support, she is still standing and representing like never before. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This week's collection will go to the New Image Youth Center. The offering will now be collected, and note that you can also give online. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
And we are at the time in our service that we have set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or help with, or you have a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to a collective sharing of joys and sorrows that when we share it here with the entire congregation during the service. And you can do so in different ways. During the week, you can send us an email at joysandsorrows@orlandouu.org. If you are attending in person on day of service, you can complete a card, and the wonderful greeters make sure that we receive it up here. We also offer you the opportunity to light a candle for the things you continue to want to hold close to your heart. So, bring your joys, bring your sorrows. Your whole self is welcome here in this space as we create sacred space together. Today, these beautiful flowers here were provided by Jeannie Carter in celebration of the December holidays. We have several joys here on cards. First one is from the Cook family. Willow has been accepted to sunny Fredonia, with a scholarship for the incoming freshman class. One would think I didn't review this beforehand. I did, I promise. And Lisa Marie has a joy. She says, I had the honor of performing at Dr. Phillips Center yesterday as a poet and judging the poetry contest for the 4th year in a row. A huge thanks to everyone in this community for supporting my spiritual gifts and creative talents. So congrats. Oh, and this is from two of our new members, Mike and Rebecca, and Becca, as you have noted here. Thank you for the positive energy for friend Raphael. Oh, thank you for the positive energy for our friend Raphael. He does not have lymphoma like we feared. He is recovering well from an infection. Thank you from Raphael and Mike and Becca. So glad. And you may already know, because we shared this from the pulpit last week, that Sherry Rondi passed away. We also have information from her daughter that if you would like to send cards or some warm words to the family, that you can get the address and the names of everyone, that is Sherry's daughter, son, and grandchildren, from Amy, who is our church administrator, for those who may not be aware of that. And you can send your note of sympathy to Sherry. And also, it's important to know how important this church community was to Sherry, and also it's making me think of your sharing, Steph, just the importance of community, and which is one of the things that you all are officially entering, being part of a community, a supportive and loving community. And we also think of the larger community around us, because we are not in a tunnel, right? We're not in a vacuum. We live in the larger Orlando community and the world. And so we continue to hold our Orlando community in love as Orlando, Florida, continues to need comfort and activism to eradicate hate And also, we hold a larger global community in love as conflict continue to beset communities all over the world, even during this time of holidays. And for all the joys and for all the sorrows of this community shared today and those held close to the heart, let us pray. Let us send each other healing energy. And I invite us into meditative prayer with the words of Reverend Richard Gilbert. Relax your body. Loosen your grip on life. Allow your life to be a work in progress. Do not hurry to mold the masterpiece. Do not rush to finish the picture. Do not be impatient to complete the drawing. Let us celebrate the power of the incomplete. For life is always unfinished business. So as you hold these words in your heart, as a remembrance to slow down, I invite you to come forward and light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, and hope. And also, you may want to think of our new members in your heart as you come up, sending them wishes that they feel their place of belonging here in this community. Our first candle will be to honor those who are joining us online, and then we'll light a last one for all the joys and all the sorrows we continue to hold close to our hearts. So come forward as you are willing and able to light a candle. We live in a world that often feels like it's moving too fast, a whirlwind of demands, crisis, and uncertainties, now more than ever. Yet, amidst the chaos, I invite us to take in this one simple truth, that the present moment is all that we truly have. As Elena Westbrook reminds us from our call to worship earlier today, she notes, in a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seems eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still. Be still for a moment, giving ourselves time to be reminded of what is real. Her words brought to mind for me the book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, which emphasizes the transformative power of living fully in the present moment. His book offers insights and practices that can help us break free from the mental habits of chatter in our heads all the time that can cause us suffering, and instead might help us to cultivate a deeper awareness of the present. So, in essence, this book is a guide to transcending the mental chatter, embracing the presence, and finding peace in the timeless reality of the present moment. So most of what I will share with you today will be from Tolle. So let us explore some of these insights, and maybe, hopefully, they will offer us a pathway to either claiming or reclaiming the sacredness of the present. He speaks of the illusion of time. He reminds us that time, as we perceive it, is an illusion. The past, a memory, the future, a projection. So basically, the past and the future are constructs of the mind. Research shows that the more you recount something that you're trying to recall, the less true, the further you're moving away from the actual event that happened. So we are constructing, because our feelings then enter the scene, right? So how we felt about whatever happens now bleeds into whatever it was that happened. So really, and we don't know what's going to come in the future. So all we can do is guess, and sometimes those things, we guess things that make us feel good, but we also think about things that gives us anxiety. So the only reality we have is the present moment where life is actually unfolding, right? But how often do we dwell on mistakes that we've made, or we replay moments of hurt? How often do we move fast forward into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios? When we dwell in the past, right, we create guilt and regret, while worrying about the future cause us anxiety. And these habits, they steal our energy and peace. Instead, Tolle invites us to embrace the moment that we are living in, the only place where life unfolds. When we do this, we discover that that presence is the antidote to guilt, to regret, to anxiety, and can help us move to living freely. He speaks of the ego and pain body, and how the voices that the ego, all the noises from our ego and our minds, right, where these thoughts, we keep thinking back about memories, how labels are important to us, achievements and grievances, and at the same time, there are things that have happened to us, or recollection of them. They create muscle memory, and clings to past emotional wounds, because our bodies remember, as we have heard, and we can keep feeding on negative energy. So this accumulation of past emotional pain stored in our bodies, in our minds, can make us bitter. In our ego and body pain, then, they are powerful forces that can keep us trapped in cycles of suffering. But if we are aware of this, if we are aware how our ego and our body pain are keeping us trapped in this cycle, that is the first step toward freedom and liberation, when we can recognize when that's happening, when we recognize that it is our ego speaking, that it is past pain in our bodies that's speaking, then we can start disentangling ourselves from them. We are not our emotional pain, nor are we our egos. We are the quiet observers beneath it all. So what happens when we live in the now? When we fully inhabit the now, allows us to transcend the ego and connect to the deeper sense of being. When we practice mindfulness, truly noticing what's happening, noticing the breeze, noticing our breath, noticing the face of a loved one, we can step into a deeper sense of being. Practicing mindfulness and cultivating presence can help dissolve pain and bring us peace. You know, I notice sometimes I will see the same tree all the time, but I'm not really seeing it. But if I start paying really close attention, I may see this particular bend here and there. In other words, things that we are seeing every day, or things we think we know. People we live with, sometimes we don't fully see their faces, like, oh, where did this come from? And that particular mark had been there all the time. And this is us living in the present, really noticing the people in front of us, really noticing what is happening. So he asks us to break from that identification with our minds, like thinking that our thoughts, the chatters in our minds are who we are, right? So instead, he says, instead of letting ourselves be trapped by those thoughts, by observing them and without judgment, because we all make mistakes, right? And you're going to continue to make mistakes. But if you could observe those thoughts as they come through, those very same things that keep trying to tell you how, wow, you could have done a much better job with this. And maybe that is true. But if you can look at it and go, what is the lesson I can learn from this so that next time this presents itself, I do it differently instead of judging who you are and how this one thing represents your whole life, this one mistake. So you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thought. When we notice our thoughts without judgment, they lose their grip on us. Then we begin to see them as clouds passing through the sky of our consciousness rather than storms that control us. And I can tell when that happens for me, when my thoughts are what's controlling me. And usually, if I can distance myself away from it and I can look at, oh, this is what's happening. This isn't me. This is a part of myself showing up. When I can do that, when I can be very clear in my mind that my thoughts are not me, that is something that happened and I keep reliving it over and over in my mind, then I can step into the present and really live in that moment and deal with what's happening in front of me. But he also says one of the most challenging lessons is our resistance to the present. We always are thinking about the past and always are thinking about the future. And because we are resisting the present so much, that's one of the places that create pains for us. But if we can make room to accept the present, we also make room for peace. And true peace comes from accepting life as it is without judgment. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It allows for consciousness, thoughtful action, rather than reactive behavior. And acceptance isn't in resignation, like, you know, This is it. This is all there's going to be. You're not resigning to the moment because you're accepting the present, but by accepting what's happening in the present, it is the foundation of meaningful action. You're seeing what's happening, and you give yourself time to think about this and take meaningful action. It allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. And now holds the key to freedom and joy for us. All the joy, creativity, and wisdom we seek are available in the present moment. When we are fully here, we can accept and we can actually access who we are truly, which allows us to live more authentically. As we do that more and more, as we practice that more and more, that chatter can fade and clarity can emerge for us. And this is what being in the present does for us. It allows us to achieve spiritual enlightenment. This is the promise. It is a practice, but it is one worth cultivating. And he also gives us some ways of practicing this. Meditating, focusing on our breath. Let's do that for a minute here. Let's close our eyes for about a minute and focus. You don't have to change your breathing. Just think of your breathing and try to be in the moment as much as possible. Chatter may come, and it's okay. Don't judge them. Just focus on your breathing. Let's do that for about a minute. And if this is the first time you've done this, it felt like a long time, I'm sure. But the more you practice paying attention to your breath, focusing on the moment, the less you'll hear the chatter and you will truly be able to focus on your breath, let what's happening in front of you happen, and you can anchor yourself to the present. And also pay attention to your sensory experiences without labeling them. For example, taste your food. Listen deeply to a friend's words. I know for me, music, when I am truly listening to music, whatever emotion that might have been holding me captive will come out. And sometimes, though, I realize that I'm not ready to let go, so I will not listen to music because I'm not ready to let go of this for some reason. It must be feeding something, right? But as soon as I listen to music and I'm truly listening, I can let go. So listening, paying attention to our senses, that's another way of us practicing being in the present. And noticing as we're thinking gaps between our thoughts. For many of us, any silence is uncomfortable, right? We need to fill it. But take a moment, think of all the little gaps between thoughts and rest in that stillness. And that can be challenging, especially if you have a lot of little ones around. The other thing is when a challenge arises for you, always try to anchor yourself in the present moment. You can ask yourself questions such as, what is my relationship with the present moment? In other words, you're trying to shifting yourself from resisting this challenge that is in front of you by accepting it for what it is. And that is the only way that you can healthily deal with that particular challenge, by not resisting it and asking yourself, what is your relationship to the present moment with regards to this challenging situation? And here, beloveds, is the sacred invitation that I have for you. As we face this world rife with uncertainty, let us remember that the present moment is our sanctuary. It is here, not in the past or the future, can we find our strength, our peace, and our purpose. May we honor this moment. May we breathe it in. May we engage it fully, trusting that in so doing, we become not only more alive, but more aligned with the love and justice that calls us forward. And now please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 168, One More Step. One more step, we must do one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone will say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone will say one more prayer. One more song, we will say one more song, till every song is sung by everyone will sing one more song. Dear ones, may you awaken the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflamed and anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror your inner dignity of soul. And may you take time to celebrate the quiet miracle that seeks no attention. John O. Dani. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now service truly began. And my call to action to you is exactly what I have been talking about with you. Especially this holiday season, especially with all of what is going on in the world. We can't change that, but we can change ourselves by living in the present, seeing what is happening, so that we can take action in a way that is healthy and is good, not just for us, but for the world. So, live in the present, take a moment to breathe.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
no one has. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been awful. It's been a nightmare. And he's showing people up here. The only thing would be a full shoulder replacement, and I don't think it's designed. No, he's like him, but the surgeon, he's all
Absolutely.
And that's about all it can do. So